I went to an auction today. Wasn't anything special. I mean, it was special, but it wasn't a Christie's or a Sotheby's or anything fancy. It was just a local town auction. But while I was there, I had some epiphanies. The first, I don't like people. Second, I'm a snob. Okay, so, at the auction today, there was a lower section of the auction compound place where they had the stuff that they weren't expected to go for as much money. And I was down there with my mom, and we were getting ready to bid on a bunch of old rare books. And we started people watching. At least I did. And I began to notice some things that made me quite sad about humanity. There was a group of people that I don't know what was wrong with them. I mean, I'm sure they were nice people, but they didn't seem like they were all there, and I felt really bad. And that's when I realized I was a snob. This one woman went over and was looking at one of the books, and she sat on the box next to it that had some really old books in it. And she was just sitting on it. I just didn't understand it. It was a series, and it was The Divine Comedy by Dante in Italian, and it was illustrated, and it was beautiful. And she sits there and she opens up.
Why would anyone have a book they couldn't read?
My mind went a little bit fuzzy for a second. Have you ever thought that some people read that language? Or that maybe people want to read it or see it in the language that was actually written in? I mean, Dante didn't write Paradise and Purgatory and the Inferno in English. He wrote it in Italian. I just felt like I was in some sort of out-of-body experience watching these people. There are a few people that were actually intelligent and were, like, super cool. But the rest of them were just ridiculous. It just made me kind of confused. Like, I wish people were smarter. Maybe that's weird. Maybe it's not. Away from the weird, me trying to be philosophical part, the actual auction was the most fun I've had in a long time. So, first, my mom and I were downstairs in the lower part, in this big barn, and with all this rows of boxes full of books. It was just super cool. So apparently this whole auction was from one guy's house. He was a hoarder, and they were down in his basement, and it was like chest deep in just stuff. And I don't know what he collected, because there were tarot cards, and religious books, and fantasy novels, and really old stuff, and really new stuff, and stuff that was worthless, and stuff that was like super, super valuable. But it was all his, and it was like, I'm just kind of awed by the fact that he had so much stuff. So we were downstairs, and we were bidding on stuff. And we end up with boxes full of old German manuscripts that were old, like 100-something years old. A bunch of Lutheran texts that were in German. We found a box full of, like, the priest's missal from Catholic churches in Latin. We found one of Caesar's books about his wars in France in Latin with interlinear translations. We found all sorts of cool stuff. Old radio shows, leather-bound books, which are my personal favorite. I collect them myself. Actually, people give them to me as gifts because they know I enjoy them. I don't have the money to pay for them myself. There were just tons of cool stuff. And it surprised me what actually went for money. Like, stuff that I didn't think was that valuable, people were buying left and right. And then stuff that I thought was super cool, that I know had value because we looked it up, didn't go for as much. I don't know. Auctions. Afterwards, we went upstairs to the more valuable section. And there was a book there, and it was super cool. It was the Luttrell Psalter, apparently. So this is the manuscript. Pretty cool, right? It's an illuminated manuscript from the Middle Ages, and it was a goatskin-bound edition. I mean, it wasn't the original, obviously, but it was a facsimile edition, but it was beautiful, and it's super awesome. And my mom got into a bidding war, and went a little bit crazy, but we got it. and now I have it. I mean, I probably won't get to keep it. She's probably going to sell it. But we also got another copy of Dante's Inferno. We got the one in Italian, by the way, lady. It's worth a lot of money. We got this other set, and it was a limited edition from Easton Press. And it's super cool. It's illustrated by Gustave Doré, and it's the entire Divine Comedy, and it's in leather, and it's, oh god, I'm nerdgasming. Books. So we got those two upstairs, and then this is kind of me going crazy. There was a set of 38 Shakespeare plays on CD that were just fully dramatized, and they were unabridged, and they were super cool, and so we got them. And we also got some naval stuff, and some books about monuments in Italy, and all sorts of cool stuff. Basically all books. I come from a family of nerds. Everyone in my family is obsessed with books. I guess it's better to be obsessed with books than with other things. But if you actually want to buy any of these things that we run at the auction, my mom might be listing them on eBay in a couple days. I'll put links in the description underneath my bed. Yeah. Auctions are fun. Books are awesome. And eBay's pretty cool too. You should check that out so we can buy more books. Okay, I don't know where this is going anymore, so I'm gonna sign out now.